Howdy, folks. WidgetWalls from NeedCoffee.com here. Back again for another Wayhomer. Look, I have a camera person! There you go. Yay! And it just felt weird. It felt like I was camera wrangling by Skynet last time. So anyway, we're back here for another Wayhomer. This is how it works. I've just left the cinema where I've seen a film, and now I'm going to talk to you about it on my way home. And the film that we're talking about today is The Mechanic. Alright, so, The Mechanic. What can we say about The Mechanic? Synopsis. It's a Jason Statham film. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. It could be, though. Is it you know what? Is it Statham or is it Statham? I don't know. We'll go with Statham. You know, I can't pronounce anybody's names. I can barely pronounce my own. Alright, so here's the deal. Jason is a badass mechanic, which is a nifty term for assassin. And basically, he is really good at what he does. And see, the problem is a lot of stuff was given away in the trailer. So much so that I need to be careful what I talk about, because it was really too much in the trailer. But basically, he gets put onto a job that he didn't want to have to deal with, and now he has to find out who is responsible for it while training somebody new at the same time. What in the world is that? Anyway, so it's convoluted. I mean, you can guess half of what's going on in the trailer. Anyway, so there's your wacky synopsis. So here's the deal. You know, walking into a Jason Statham film that it's basically going to be, you know, silly running around killing people. Or kicking people's asses, depending on whether he's got guns or he's just using his fists. You know what I mean? I mean, first of all, I just think if you go back and you watch, like, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, you would probably never guess that this would be the guy who would turn out to be, you know, the new action star who would go on to make films better than Jet Li. I mean, it's just inconceivable. So you know what you're getting into when you go into one of his films, because you want mindless action, and you want, like I said, either guns or fists, or a little bit of both, you know, a little bit of mix, just to keep things interesting. And really, the plot is almost secondary. You know what I mean? It's not even almost secondary. It's secondary to, I am here to watch people getting their asses handed to them. So, you know, the expectations are pretty much set. And you watch the trailer, the expectations are pretty well set. Here's the thing about The Mechanic. It's almost like two films in one. You go in expecting silly killing people stuff, and then you're greeted almost immediately with Donald Sutherland, who is who's Donald Sutherland, and it's great that he is able to come into a film and do a bit, and you just go, wow, that was Donald Sutherland, because he's just that good. You know what I mean? One of those people that can just walk in and take your movie from you. And to Jason Statham's credit, I mean, he's supposed to be the unfeeling killing machine, so you can only do so much acting-wise, because you're mostly going, you know, the whole time. Actually, probably good. Does that make sense? So, yes, it's very easy to, for the most part, act rings around somebody like that, because they have a very limited range within which they're working. And I don't think that's, you know, a reflection on Statham. Same thing with Ben Foster, his acolyte, I guess you would say, that he comes in to train to be another mechanic. He's really good. You know, really good. Brings a level of drama to this thing that I simply wasn't expecting. And I was like, where do I know this guy from? He was Angel in X-Men Last Frou-Frou, whatever it was called. And who knew he was like this good? So you've got two really great acting performances. You've got Statham in there as well, doing what he can with his role. And it actually doesn't become kicking people, shooting people thing You know what I mean? It almost takes on a more dramatic... It's one of those... well, I mean, it's like there's action films. There's action films that you think about, and then there's action films where you just turn your brain off, and you sit there and you munch some popcorn, and you watch some people get, like, shot in the face. So there's two kind of distinct realms. The problem with this is that it starts off in the thinking realm, because there's actually a lot of really good acting going on. There's a lot of plot. There's a lot of story, and I was totally fine with that. I was on board with it. And then somewhere around, I don't know, about a half hour from the end, it's almost like they went, we haven't had enough people getting their asses kicked and getting shot. So it kind of takes this, I don't know, very convenient turn towards the silly action, if that makes sense. And here's the weird thing. Normally the problem with films is that they ask me to turn my brain off, and I do. And then when my brain wakes up, it's very angry. But with this, my brain was actually going, and then at a certain point, the film took such a strange curve into that subgenre of just mindless that I totally went with it, and my brain went, oh, I could take a rest. And it was really weird, because I went with it. The problem is there's just not enough of that silliness. The payoff feels a little rushed. And I won't necessarily say neat, because what they did and the action sequences were actually pretty interesting, but it didn't feel like there was enough of it. So it's this weird hybrid film that kind of wants to be a thinking man's assassin film, right? But it also wants you to just turn your brain off and watch, Jason Statham harpoon some guy in the leg, which I'm fine with. But it's almost like it tries to do both and ends up doing neither very well. Does that make any sense? And again, I come up with these off the top of my head, so I'm coming to these realizations in real time. So I mean, that's the problem. Now, is it a bad film? No, it's really not. I mean, it's like I said, it does its two halves quite well. Not even half, but like 2/3 and a third, I guess, something. But it does each of those individual bits well. The acting's good. The action's good. At no point did I, as we've talked about so many times, have an action sequence in which I couldn't follow what was going on because of the... so I was fine with that. But it just wound up being okay. And that's all right. So I would say it's probably right down the middle. It was veering towards being really good, and then kind of reeled it back in towards the end. So I would say probably about 2.5 cups, I think, is safe. I would like to have given it more, and in fact, it's the acting that helps me, not feel like it was a waste of time, And, would I say that you should catch it on DVD? Sure. Or, the problem is, it's like, normally with a film like this, I would say, yeah, if you really feel like going and paying to see a mindless action flick this weekend, go see it. But the problem is, it's not a mindless action flick. And it's like Donald Sutherland and Ben Foster, you're so good, you're distracting me from the film. Which is weird to have to say. So yeah, I think 2.5 out of 5 is the way to go with that. I think it's decent to check out on home video when it comes around. If you do want to go this weekend and see it, I don't blame you, because sometimes you just want to see somebody getting stuck with a harpoon in a leg. I assume it was a harpoon, it looked like one. Or giant fireplace poker, I don't know. Some pokey thing in the leg. And it was in the trailer. So anyway, yeah, I think if you want to go see it this weekend, go to a matinee, save yourself a few bucks, and do it that way. And, decent. I'd actually love to go back and watch the Charles Bronson version now, because I'm sure, I don't know, did Bronson jump off a bridge? I have no idea. So anyway, there you go, The Mechanic. 2.5 out of 5. There's your Wayhomer. Thanks to everybody for watching these things. I hope you are still enjoying them. I hope they are still of use to you. If they are, share them with a friend over Facebook, or stumble upon the social network of your choice. And yeah, we appreciate all your support. So until next time, and I'm going to try to catch up on some of these films that are up for the Oscars so I can come up with a decent Oscar prediction. So you'll be looking for those and seeing those shortly. So until next time, I shall simply say bye.